We have many different Rieslings that we make at Sheldrake, and largely what determines what a Riesling is going to become, what wine the Riesling is going to become, is how vigorous it is. This is the Riesling 3 block, and it was planted in 2007. And on this end of the block, the grapevines are a little bit more vigorous. And a good comparison is how big is the shoot at a given period of time. And if you can see, this shoot is probably slightly bigger than the size of the pen. And these are the bigger shoots on the vine. And they're also going to the middle top, or the middle catch wire, and that gives you an indication of how tall they are at this point in time. These vines right here are kind of a moderate vigor, kind of in between the most vigorous and the least vigorous parts of the vineyard. And what we make with this is our regular dry Riesling, and that'll lend quite often, it depends on the year, quite often either minerality or green apple flavors, like Granny Smith apple flavors. We're in the most vigorous part of the vineyard. These berries on these vines typically are very, very big, and the clusters are very tight. It makes disease management a little bit difficult. We don't mind botrytis. Botrytis is a good thing. It lends some of the flavors to our Riesling. It makes a wonderful sweet Riesling. One of the tricks to getting botrytis to happen at the right time is if we can control it. It's always on the edge of control when you have tight clustered Rieslings. If you're going to get botrytis, if you get it, it's usually an all or nothing thing. But what time you get botrytis is critical to the flavor. If you get botrytis too early, the berries are still early in veraison, and the flavors that you concentrate are not that good. The flavors that you want to concentrate are the later than veraison flavors, the sweet flavors that you want to concentrate. And that's where you get your mango, honey, mandarin orange flavors from, is botrytis at the right time. So although this is a difficult block to manage, when it's managed correctly, the disease is held at bay until late September when the vines are fully through veraison. It makes just the right amount of very tasty semi-dry Riesling. We were talking about vigor levels and what vigor levels make different types of wine. And we're going up here because the vines are less vigorous, and we typically make higher quality wines out of our less vigorous vines. I made a comparison of shoot size to the pen and shoot length to the catch wires. Now the catch wires are in the same position relative to the starting point to the shoot. And you can see most of these shoots are much, much smaller. The shoot is smaller than the pen, where the other one was about the same size as the pen. And although we'll get less fruit off of this vine, the fruit will be of a quality that will lend itself to making reserve Riesling. So this is a lower vigorous point. This is also a warmer part of the vineyard. It's higher in elevation. And in the springtime it's warmer because it's away from the cooling effect of the lake. Another feature about this part of the vineyard is the soil. The soil is a heavy clay soil, and it restricts the ability of the roots to travel through that soil. It also restricts the amount of water that goes into the soil. So these vines get an adequate water supply, but they're not as well watered as some other parts of the vineyard, and that restricts vine growth, and it restricts berry size, and it makes really high quality Riesling suitable for our reserve Riesling. And this is where we get probably half of our reserve quality grapes for our Riesling.